Hello and welcome back to Sit With Me. Today we are sitting with Samira, and she is a immigrant from Iraq. She came here in the early 80s to study engineering after having an arranged marriage, and I just learned so much from her. I was really grateful for her perspective, and the biggest thing that stuck out to me during this conversation was just that everyone's an individual and they have things that are important to them that they're passionate about. And when we think about people in terms of groups, she shares what it was like to come here and people thought she was from Iran and treated her harshly because of the circumstances between the United States and Iran at the time. I think it's really important to remember that even if you have a hard time with the way a certain group believes or acts in the world, at the end of the day, each member of that group or someone that identifies in that group is an individual that deserves to be sat with and seen and cared for as an individual. So I just was really grateful for Samira's perspective in that way. She has since founded Women of the World, which is a nonprofit organization that seeks to improve, support, and serve those immigrant women here in Utah. So she has done a lot of work in the community, and you'll get to hear a lot about that. I hope you enjoy our conversation. It was extremely insightful for me, and I hope it's the same for you.
I came in as an international student, and after that, some immigrants. I came in 1979. I was in arranged marriage and very young in my teen. I came in to study engineering, and of course, it wasn't the husband he married me at that time was studying in Logan, Utah. So that's when we came right away to Logan, Utah.
And where did you
1970,
come from? What country were you coming?
Baghdad, Iraq.
Okay.
Yeah. At that time, 1979, Saddam is coming to the power, and people that are scared from him, they're not pro him. My mom, she thought, I want you to get out from the country before something happened to you. So this is why, from 9 kids, I'm the only one who was arranged married to.
Oh, wow.
Get that is I did not think about it at that time. I thought, oh, they don't want me, and that's why they sent me in there. But after that, I knew was the story behind it. But when I came in 1979, American hostage were in Iran, and a lot of people they thought I'm Iranian. So when I went to college, studying my engineering, always being called out from the classroom, go out from the classroom before I teach it. If it is math teacher or an engineering teacher, I was being called a lot and get out from the office from the classroom before I teach it. I don't want to serve Iranian. And I was
Wow.
very shocked. And I thought if there is in people ignorant, it's supposed to be not educated, have a PhD or a doctor or professor or something like that. And the other things, I'm an international student, we pay twice more than American students. So their income is coming from me, not from the others. So I was really heartbroken. I didn't like it. A new husband and people that are kicking me out from hospital, from grocery store, from anywhere they see me, go home Iranian, we don't want to see you. At that time, actually, I become pregnant right away, very young. So I started to take my daughter with me and for study, and that did not stop me to go to school and learn civil engineering. I think, that, of course, I remember many times I called my family and I said, if you think about American open-minded, it's not, you're not in this way. They're all supposed to be coming from different countries, but here I am, they're kicking me out and I didn't do something bad or whatever.
They could actually kick you out of the class. Utah State was okay with that.
Oh, I talked with the dean, and after that, the dean talked to the professor
Oh.
as your money coming from her. And some of them, they put it in the newspaper as well. Discrimination about all these things happening. It's not only the officer, the professor, or the teacher, they're student as well. They didn't want
Yeah.
me to be around. So and I remember I have some classmates that are from Lebanon and dark like me, and they were walking with me, and they got stabbed by a student and by knife, is telling them to go home, Iranian. So it was horrible, really horrible. It was horrible at that time. And
Wow.
I wish I had at that time a camera, or we have a phone to take some pictures, we record these things, but so I hated it so much. But what make me love life and make me going is my baby with me. I brought her to life, and I thought, this is not gonna stop me. I need to go on with that. And of course, I don't want to go only with that because it wasn't easy. And after that, I went finish and went to work with in the large semiconductor that very known in Boise, Micron, and I worked in there for 20 years as a senior engineer, and it was really great. It gave me a lot of confidence about myself and gave me a lot of learning about the microchip and the generation of the chip and to shrink the phone, TV, and all these things. It was challenging, and I love challenge, and I love science. So it was really great to be in there. And meantime, I used to be working a lot of volunteering time, even though with my kids around, and I used always to have a time to in my lunch hour to go to the high school and mentor the young girl, telling them to be in science. You could do it. So I remember many of those young women, they always say, oh, my brother said I'm not good in math, or my always men, they said we are not good in math. And I said, prove them wrong. Like the way I did to prove them wrong,
Yeah.
be in science and everything. So the education was really important for me. The other things is to stand with the women. It was very important for me is because what I saw and what I know from back home as well. We go to college and we get to be a doctor, engineer, and everything since 40s
Yeah.
because of the civilization in Iraq at that time. But what happened when we wanted to get a job, let's say my brother, he has a PhD and I have a PhD, they prefer men than
Okay.
women go in there.
In Iran as well.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm curious because there's a lot of stereotypes about Middle East in general in America. A lot of people, I think, see Middle Eastern women as oppressed, but obviously there's so many different countries and so many different cultures within. So yeah, teach me and teach us a little bit more. So in Iran, it was very normal for women to be seeking higher education at the stage you were in, but getting a job was a lot harder. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, in Iran is different, but in Iraq, where I'm from, the first civilization started from there. So the first civilization, when it started from Iraq, everybody had to be educated. Everything is free, like from high school to college, books, even the uniform what we wear. Is everything is free is because they want everybody to go to be educated. And we have like my mom, I remember she said that when in the 40s, in 1940, we have a doctor and engineer and all these things in this country. So a small Iraq, we have so many educated women, but just like I said, they prefer to give a job for men than women at that time, but I'm not sure, right now, of course.
So was
So
it a culture shock to come to the United States and see some of those differences, or did it feel similar, or what was that like when you came?
yeah, in fact, I have some of my classmates, they used to ask me, are you surprised when you came into America? And I said, yeah, I'm surprised for a lot of things about America. But I didn't start to tell him. But he said, okay, so the first things you are surprised because we have car and you have camel. I said,
Oh,
no.
that's not
So
it.
seriously, they were calling me Camel Jackie. And I said, you know what? I was surprised. We drive Mercedes, Volvo, all these European cars, and you guys, you don't have these cars around. He said,
Yeah.
what? Are you serious? I said, yes, I am serious. I have a picture to show you as well. The things is the other things is the women is not as educated as us. Is because of the things, because of the money, tuition, and all these things. So that's why I thought they don't want to go to school is because they wanted to be independent and they wanted to work. And yeah, so it was really shocking in these areas. And of course, when my kids they went to school, it was shocked me. Geography, history is all about America. It's not about all over the world.
The
I don't.
world.
Yeah, I didn't speak English when I came in, but I know where's Mississippi River, where's the Rocky Mountain, where's all these things. And when I talk about them, they said, "Oh, how do you know that?" I said, "Well, yeah, we have to study these."
Yeah. That is so interesting. I see that a lot. Yeah, I think as Americans, we assume that the world will cater to us. They'll cater to our language, they'll cater to our history, they'll cater to our beliefs. And it is so interesting to hear you say some of those things. We probably need a little humility.
Uh, yeah, I think it's the way it is. After all, I'm in here. I decide to stay in here is because it's peaceful and because of the way I will say the freedom of speech, but is you talk about no one listen. So I don't think so. There's you get your frustration out is all right. You're not gonna be angry the next day.
Yeah.
But my kids born in here. My second husband that I married is American. So I'm very proud of my kids, what they're doing. And I love this country is because there's many great things is about it. And we need to think about the great things. There's bad things everywhere.
Yes. No, there's some beautiful things too. Before we move on to maybe that second stage of your life, I am curious, being in an arranged marriage, you felt like your family passed you off. Was it lonely? Did you feel like, was it a good relationship with your spouse when you came here, or was it really lonely because it was an arranged marriage and maybe you didn't know him as well as you maybe could have?
No, it was lonely. Yes, it was lonely. Is the things is first of all, he's older than me, and he's been in here in America before me. And the things is what upset me is because we are in this modern life. We don't wear hijab. We even though we're Muslim and we make fun of the other country. They have the arranged marriage, and here I am. I got that. Why? So is and when it happened, actually, you don't have no choice. You have to work it. So I tried to work it with him, but it didn't work really good. I have amazing, wonderful three children from him, and they are amazing, and giving back to the community and everything. All of them is. But the thing is, just like I said, I think is majority of I wasn't thinking about marriage because I was very young. I wanted to go to at that time I was wishing and hoping to go to Sweden and study computer science and all these things. Why we Sweden is because my brother wasn't there. So this is what I was aiming for. But what they call it is my decision, the biggest decision in your life is being taken away from you. So make me unhappy at that time.
Yeah.
And to have the kids after that, life is so beautiful. You brought the kids, you wanted to go work it,
Yeah.
try and fail in it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just picturing you going to school and having new babies and figuring out the world in a different culture. It just sounds like you're amazing. So,
Thank you. I think about it now when I'm talking to you. I don't know how I did it because I couldn't. When my baby is asleep, I go and read and study and go to the laboratory to do my own experiment by myself, or take
how,
her with me in my backpack and doing survey and all these things about the engineering. So I don't know how I did it because I was young, healthy, and strong. I guess.
you had to. When you have to do it, you figure out a way.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you said you went to work for a while. You maybe got remarried. What was your experience like moving forward, and where you're at now when you've decided to give back and create the space that you have now?
Yeah, when I work in the semiconductor, I notice there's a lot of similarity for the women not to speak up and women and male-dominated place. So I was shocked again, why this is in here as well. I worked literally hard reading about device physics electrical engineer and all these things, and to be fit in this what they call it, the company. I wanted to be in there. When they ask question, I don't want to say, let me think about it. I will give that answer back. So I used to spend a lot of times reading and taking classes online and all these things, and go in the morning, I have the answer for them, because I was only women between 100 men. So
Yeah. You had to
and,
put
and
in extra work.
yeah, and always you hear that stereotype, foreign women, and as a woman, we told you she does not know anything about the science. I was very sensitive with these things. I don't want to hear it ever. So as
Mhm.
always, the men, they don't understand how women goes through this. A lot of that I see, we go extra mile just to prove them wrong. So anyway, so I was happy doing the microchip and building the a new generation of chips to shrink phone and the TV and all these things in this company. And after that, my husband, that I met with in the company, that was moved to Salt Lake City to IMFT. We have Micron, have Intel at that time in 2008, and but I say I didn't move in there. I was still working. So we go back and forth to see each other. And after that, he said, I think your kids are already in college. They don't need you anymore with the helping them and everything. And they are independent. So it's time for you to resign and to follow your dream, because he knows very well. I always did a lot of volunteering, but it wasn't enough. I wanted
Mm.
to have this dream. One day I'm going to help women from all over the world to stand up on their feet, to be empowered, to change the stigma and the mind of people around us. It took 7 months to think about it. After that, I resigned and I came to Salt Lake City in 2009. And when I came in, he told me to go travel to see my family all over the world and all these things. But all I have in mind, I wanted to do some full-time volunteering. And I did. I started to do in IRC and CCS and Asian Association, the resident agency, and actually Enhancement Hospital as medical interpreter for the women and men that they speak different dialect in Arabic.
Mm.
And when I did that, I noticed and I heard a lot of time the women said, we want someone to be a leader, we want someone to to be our voice, to show us we need someone to stand up with us and to show us the resources. And that's when I started think about it and taking classes from UNA and from the college, how to create nonprofit NGO, and I done that. So I started in my car for 7 years in Honda Pilot. My office is the Honda Pilot is for 7 years, really. And
Wow.
now I did that too. I think it's every time I say I'm gonna give up, I'm gonna stop. But what make me stronger and go on and to be persistent in the mind of the people. When they see me, I'm with the women or men, taking them to the doctor or finding them a job, literally in my car, taking them from place to place, look for a job. They always say, get, we want you and your homeless people to get out from our state. We don't want you to be in here. So that's what make me, why they are thinking about that. Why they don't know. They bring them in here. They give them a better, supposed to be a better place. But now, they don't want them. They're going to be homeless in the street. And that's what said, okay, no one going to be educating those people except me. I'm going to do that.
Mm.
So as an engineer too, I'm very, what I call it, very crazy about data. I want to see if my work is working,
Making an
is
impact.
has a resolution, yeah, impact, some result from that, or else I leave it because
Yeah.
it was my husband money and my time going through around. And my purse was my laptop to show the person, see this woman, I got them a job. This women, they learn English because I have volunteered that they could help. They come
Mm.
and go. And this way I will tell them, this is the impact I'm doing. in your state, in our state. So the people, they said, you're losing your mind. Who are you to be in there? So it's because, unfortunately, because of my color, foreign, and they think I'm just like any homeless person. And I keep telling them they are not homeless. They don't want to be in here. They
Yeah.
came in, it's because of war, oppression, poverty, and rape is going on, and that's when they came in here. They don't want to be in here because they get poorer, because they don't know the language, they don't know about the regulation,
Yeah.
and jobs and all these things. So I have to educate and talk, and losing my voice like today. um, so this is what make me and the women. The other things is I found out from the women coming from war, and not only women, men and women, all the kids, they don't trust people. They don't trust even their brother or sister or their neighbor. It's because of the way the war created a lot of hardship for those people. Let's say they come and they steal their kids and they want ransom money and all these things. So it's really upset me so much. I thought, why they don't trust? Do you trust me? And they said, oh, who do you work for? They thought, okay, I'm working for a company or for the government or whatever. I said, I don't work. I work for myself.
Yeah.
So at that time, whoever does the translation or interpretation, they have a form to sign by the client so they could get paid. So they said, where's your paper so we could sign it? And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm working for myself and I'm doing this volunteer. So from there, I get so much respect and so much trust,
Yeah.
and start to listen to me with anything that I tell them or advise them about that.
Wow.
So
Yeah, I'm really curious what you have learned from these women and families that you've served. Like what's the hardest thing for them, especially in Utah, as they try and assimilate into the community? What can we do better as neighbors, as friends, as community members to support them? I think just understanding that
yeah,
sometimes people have a lack of trust is really helpful. I even worked with refugees for a couple of years, and I felt that was huge. I think just anyone may be part of American culture, but when I want to serve someone, I expect someone to want to be served and to be grateful for that. And not that sounds terrible to say, but sometimes I was received with, just like you said, they don't trust me, they don't necessarily want my help. It's not because they don't want my help, but because they don't understand that I genuinely do want to help them. And so for me to understand that and not be put off or not have my feelings hurt or not want to help them because from my perspective they don't seem like they do, but to understand that the place they're coming from is a place of lack of trust, and it takes a lot more work on someone else's end to say, no, really, I am here for you, not to give up on those people. So any other lessons you have for us to learn from as to how we can better be empathetic to our sisters and family that come from other places in the world?
I think listening to them, the number one, by sitting with them and listening to them and feel their pain and their happiness. That's one of the things. I study all my life engineering and science, but I didn't study about social study or about how to treat a person or whatever. I, from my background as a mother and as an engineer and all these things, I have listened to the people, and that's when they open to me and they trust me and follow my guidance. So that's what I felt. The other, of course, some of I used to talk the when I interpret in counseling or in doctor office. I remember this woman. She was telling really very rough story, and my tears just comes out. I cannot handle it because, and they tell you when you are an interpreter, you're supposed to be the voice, not to be the feeling it comes out or something like that. That's
Be
a
neutral.
lie. Yeah, that's really a lie, and not a lie. This is I don't buy them, really.
Yeah.
So because the woman, she couldn't open to the doctor. When she saw me, I'm with my tears, she started she's talking to me,
Mm.
telling me about her experience. But in the meantime, I'm interpreting for her to the doctor. The doctor asked me, said, your tears that comes out. And I said, yeah, I cannot handle it. We are human being. I cannot handle. Of course, I'm crying because of that. And I told him too. I said, if you do not, she did ask me. She said, when you are interpreting to the doctor, how come the doctor does not have any
Emotion.
emotion or any expression or something like that in his face? And I of course, I told her this is the way it is in America in some countries. But I did told him after that, and I said, this is, if you show some emotion for her, she will open to you because she opened to me, not to you, and I'm interpreting for you. So it's
Yeah.
one of these things, of course. See, with your friend, to do the same thing. When they see you are emotional and everything, and you are telling them, oh, everything is okay, they feel that you are listening,
Yeah.
yeah, for that things. Yeah.
That's beautiful. I think that's really important. I like that you said it's important to feel their pain. It's really hard to feel the emotions of people sometimes, but to be willing to say, I can sit with that and I can feel the pain that you felt to be here. I think it's really important.
Yeah. Thank
I
you.
I'm curious. So, did you say that you are currently still practicing Islam, or is that a part of your life now, or was it when you came here?
Now, I born Muslim, of course, and we practice Islam. Yeah.
So, I'm
And
curious. Oh, go ahead.
but I'm not like going to the mosque or something like that. I don't know. We never did go to the mosque even when we were in Iraq,
Okay.
unless like a holiday or something that's like that. Majority
Yeah.
of the time, people, they like men or women, they are working and they go to the mosque easy to pray. Yeah.
Okay. I was curious what that's been like for you in Utah. It's religious, but also cultural as well. So I'm wondering what that has been like being in Utah, where there probably aren't as many people that practice Islam as maybe where you came from, obviously, and what that experience has been like. And then tied to that, even a lot of women that you are helping probably come from varying religious backgrounds, what that experience has been like meshing and bringing their own religion culture to a place that is different than them.
Yeah. So the first time when I was in going to school, I got a lot of times missionary comes to our. We used to have a high rise for the marriage people, so I
Okay.
don't take my last name, my ex-husband's last name. We don't take the last name when we get married. So
Mm.
always they come and they knock the door. They said every week, "You are not married. You have to be separated." No, we are married. We have to show them our marriage license. And I thought, oh wow, I felt, of course, very shocked. People that come and talk about the religion and they want you to be in that religion. And I never had that before because when you're Muslim in Iraq, used to be, since I born, secular country. We don't talk about religion. We have at least 50 or 60 religions in there and temples for these religions. We, in my family, I learned that do not talk about other religion, just respect them. That's my dad always tell us that. So when I heard about when I came into Utah, I remember one of the youngest. I was young at that time in what they call it, his office for the international student. They said if you need someone to mentor you, you want to. I said women. So they brought women. She came in, took me from the apartment, and took me to the church on Sunday. And I said, yeah, I wanted to learn, but I don't speak English very well. And
Uh-huh.
learn to understand the Sunday class. I did go in there, and when I was called that you are now Mormon, why you're here? And I thought I wanted to learn.
Mm.
Like the person said, then I'm gonna teach you every day until I change your mind. So I remember with my broken English, I said, I at that time I have the Quran in the holy book. My mom, she make me to wear it so I'd be safe.
Uh-huh.
I said, okay, you learn this religion. I learn that religion with a broken. And he said, no. And I said, no, just like him. And I said, I, that moment, I thought, wow, I was so brave to talk like that. But I lost the mentor, is gone, and I don't know where do I live. And at that time, we don't have phone. Of course, we had that pay phone and everything. And I was crying like a kid in there. I don't know where to go. But from that, I learned there's this religion. They are talking about it. And if I'm not supposed to be in that religion, I'm not going to be having friends. So but I never did. I did respect. I told them I respect your religion. I respect all the religions, but I'm not gonna be changing my belief.
Yeah.
Even though with Islam, what I understand is you love each other. You would no matter what. So that's why we have when I started Women of the World, I wrote this in different languages and put them in the office and gave it to the women, everyone. You are underneath this roof. Do not talk about religion. Do not talk about politics. These two that are forbidden in this organization. When I see someone by the door standing in there, I'll ask what they need, what they want, and how can I help them. I do not ask about religion. I don't ask about politics. And that's it. This is the way it is. I literally kicked someone who was talking about the religion with the other person, and I told them, "I'm sorry, this is the door, open and get out. I cannot handle that, really." So this is the deal with I want to feel a safety net, the place that you go in there. So if I even don't celebrate Eid, the Muslim holidays, is because if I celebrate that, I want to celebrate for everybody's religion. So that's why I said we are not gonna do that to celebrate just one time. Everybody is healthy and happy, and yeah.
So from your point of view, it was we don't want to talk about those two things because they can be very divisive, and I want this to be a place where we don't have to. Any of those things won't divide us.
Yeah, I noticed in the beginning when I came in to one of the women home, because just like I said, I drive around and meet with them in their home, and I saw that woman, she's crying. She said, I'm Catholic, and there's the mentor. She came into me and she said, if you are not going to be in Mormon, I'm not going to be your friend. And I said, you're adult. You decide what you want it to be. And so there was a lot of these kind of things, communication with them. And I don't want to be the one I'm telling them not to do this or that. This is not, because we're not going to talk about the religion or about the politics. Is you an adult, you have kids, and you understand that you believe in it, you believe in it. You don't believe in it, it's not. You're not going to lose a friend because there's many friends around you.
Yeah.
So give them that advice and give them the way that to hear from me, to follow that.
Wow, interesting. Yeah, that makes me sad. Someone would say I wouldn't be your friend if you don't join my faith.
Yeah.
Especially coming to a new country, you want to feel like you have a home, you can be welcomed and find belonging. So to hear that would be just that'd be painful.
Exactly. Yeah. And it is hard in the beginning when just like I said, when I said Women of the World, it's not only, I think I heard some of the people, they said, what's into me if I believe in your organization? It's just into you're going to be in heaven. You're going to be when you're but I cannot convert. So it's kind of hard in the beginning when I came to here. I have amazing funder and supporter. They're Mormon. They're amazing. I love them to death. But you see, there's ignorance everywhere.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting. Yeah, that is very insightful for me. One of my other questions was I'm curious where you have found belonging. Where have you felt seen, and maybe you've had to create that for yourself, but where have you felt like you belong?
I found, I would say, my belonging with this organization, Women of the World. Even when I've been in here for many years, I studied, from 1979, study and worked, pay 45% of my income for taxes. Still, I didn't feel belonging until see in this organization that I create. So I see how the women they feel, and they are very, very depressed when they came in because of the way they know that they don't know the culture or the regulation. And the other things is, I will say, still, when I walk in the street or go to the grocery, every time I hear that, where are you from? You have an accent. What's this accent all about? You don't feel belong in there because the person is asking you, where are you from? And I didn't say anything except hi. Is there hi in it accent? No, there isn't. So it's weird because of the color, because of that. My kids, they're born in here. My daughter is married, and her two kids are blonde, blue eyes, and one of them is green eyes, and they thought she is stealing them and running with them. So she does not feel that belonging. I have an accent, they don't have an accent. And
Yeah.
always they said, where are you from? Or why, where's your country or whatever. Belonging is still, it needs a lot of work for belonging, really.
Yeah.
And what I see in here, when the women, they come in here, they say, oh, you just don't believe it, Samira. When I'm in your office, I feel that my second home. I feel so safe. I feel so like you are all my family and everything. So it's always when you hear something like this from the women, you feel so relieved because this is the place that they feel comfortable with. Uh,
Yeah.
there's other women they could talk to and feel that belonging in here.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
What teach us a little bit. I know you've shared a couple things as to what you've done to create that space, but yeah, we'll end with a couple, maybe just one or two more questions. But the first one being, what have you done intentionally through your organization? You've said one, to listen to people's stories, to sit and feel pain with them. You've also said we don't talk about religion, we don't talk about politics. But what is there anything else you can think of that you've done intentionally that's created that space where they say, "This is my second home. I feel like I belong here."
Sorry, you were cut in the last. I'm sorry,
Oh, sorry.
the last.
What have you done intentionally to create belonging in your organization?
That is a good question. So, in the way is actually when you go to the any office, there's always there's a lock, or there is, what they call it, security, or badge in, badge out. In my organization, in the office, we don't have that. The other things is we have small kitchen or break room. I bring all the coffee that they like, all the tea that they like, sugar, what kind of sugar you like, cookies, what kind of cookies you like. I always have them in there. Water, of course, and everything. And let them do it. I'm not gonna do it for them. They go in there and they feel that, okay, I'm gonna get some coffee, and oh, we don't have coffee today. Are you gonna bring tomorrow? So they feel this is their second home by having all these things. One thing is I learned, and I hope everybody understand that, as we always in America, and I always tell my kids, the American people, they work really hard for, not like European, sit and relax and drinking your tea slow, with the chewing your sandwich slow. There's no such like things in here. I'm
Yeah.
driving and I'm eating my breakfast to go to work. I'm driving, take my kids to school, or
Yeah.
all these things. So they do the same thing because they came to America now. That I'm running, I need to give a ride to my kids, and I need to go fast to Women of the World to take class in their intensive English, or the practical English. They could come, or they have appointment. When they come, I notice that some of them, they have lack of vitamin D, and they have diabetes and everything. So I used to they faint, and I thought, okay, I used to have a sofa actually to make them relax and lay down on the sofa. Let me bring you some tea, some food, crackers, and all these things. So they feel that is their home. I go in there, I'm gonna do tea. Sometimes they go and do it for me as well. They bring it to me, and they bring cookies. They share with each other, or cake, or food. They bring that. Isn't there? They know there is a spoon, there is a plate, there is no one gonna be in their way. and they do their own things. So this is, I like it this way, is because I don't see it in other places.
Yeah.
Always, even for resettlement agency, when you go, there's a lock. You stand up, wait in there in that room until I have time to let you in, escort you out, and so
Yeah.
we don't have that in here.
That's beautiful. I love that idea. It's the little things. It's small little
It's
things that go a
exactly,
long way.
yeah, exactly. It does not need money. It does not need any, what they call it, to be strong and whatever. I mean, it's, yeah. And they know when they come to the office with the case manager, she will close the door and both of them in there. And when they talk about themselves, they know they lock the secret and they're gone. They
Yeah.
see all this confidentiality is very important.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay, I don't want to take your whole, I know your time is precious. Is there anything else that you think is important for listeners?
Yeah, you have a question in there, and I thought I'd really like to share it.
Yes, please do.
Uh, I think you have a question. You said, how have assumption or stereotype affect you? Um,
Yes.
oops, I don't know if okay. So I just want to say, through my life, I had to break through many stereotypes. Middle Eastern woman, as immigrant, and even as a woman in engineering, people didn't expect someone like me to lead or to build or to thrive. I have also been seen how these the same assumption limit the women I serve. They are too often, only through the lens of their trauma or what they like, rather than through their dreams and their resilience and their brilliance. So this assumption can be damaging, but
Yeah.
I've learned to use them as fuel to prove them wrong and to pave the way for others to rise. I always, about the assumption, people get really in a lot of trouble. Yeah, I wanted to say to the people, if I just to say about women of the world that were refugee and immigrant women rise and confident leaders. I wish one day to see that and shaping policy, building bridges, and lifting others as they climb, not only in the US, but in every corner of the world they once called home. And of course, always tell the refugee there in our state that a lot of them, let's say, if you take them from Iraq, they said America came into Iraq and destroyed our country, and now the responsibility they have to take care of us. So I always give them the advice, tell them, not this person is walking in the street did that for you. So we have to show them that they're wrong in a way that
Mhm.
we are supporting them. Yeah, I really don't have anything to say except saying, please say hello to the when you see a refugee in the street, say smile and say hi, how are you today? They always feel like they are burden on us, but we need to welcome them and give them any kind of help that we can.
Yeah. No, I think that's so important. I think it's really beautiful the work that you're doing. Let's end with this last question of just what blessings and privileges and insights do you feel like you have, even amidst those assumptions and those things that are really hard while you're working in a male dominated field and all these things that are really hard? What have been some of the beautiful blessings or privileges that you've had because of some of the hard things?
I would say, so my journey has been filled with challenges, but each one has made me stronger.
Mm,
The blessing is that I have learned to turn pain into purpose. That's why I left a high paying engineering career to serve women who are often invisible in our communities. And it was not easy, of course, working from my car, uh, funding women of the world from my own saving in the early years. It gave my life meaning.
Yeah.
I have learned that true strength is in service, and that belonging isn't it something you wait for, it's something you build.
Ah,
Today, I'm blessed to stand beside hundreds of courageous women, and together we are changing the world. One story, one success, one sister at a time.
that's beautiful and so wise. Belonging requires us to build it. You can't wait for someone else to create belonging for you. I'm learning that so much with every person I talk to. It's just so profound that belonging starts within yourself and then you create that. So
Yeah.
thank you for being so wonderful and being such a great example. I'm excited to implement a lot of the things you've shared with us. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
If you're here, thanks for listening till the end. I really appreciated Samira and her wisdom and experiences and her being willing to share all that with us. That being said, I would really appreciate it if you are someone that listens frequently, or if this was your first episode, if you take a second to like or subscribe or leave a review. It helps me have feedback and helps other people find the show. So thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time.